When the final curtain drops on your life, how do you want to be remembered? It ultimately will be based on the choices you made. Did you finally realize your dream of having a family, only to have your happily ever after turn into a nightmare? Do you find yourself up late at night wondering why nothing you try as a parent is working? Are you searching for adoption resources and a support team but can't find any? Hi neighbor, welcome to Anchors of Encouragement. I'm Tim Maudlin, husband, adoptive parent, Bible class teacher, and the persistent encourager. I too felt the joy of having a family of my own, and I wished we could be like other adoptive families. I knew we were doing our best, but nothing seemed to work. And I kept asking myself, why is this happening to us? In Anchors of Encouragement, my mission is to throw adoptive parents a lifeline and be your anchor, to offer biblical mindset support and to provide stability when life gets unstable. If you're ready for real and raw talk that leads to peace beyond comprehension, so you not only survive but thrive in life's storms, this podcast is for you. Hope and healing are on the way. Hi neighbor, welcome to another episode of Anchors of Encouragement. In today's episode, I want to throw you a lifeline and share one specific anchor with you. One idea you can sit with, meditate on, and implement in your daily life. Something that is doable. I want these anchors to be a source of support and encouragement for you so you can weather the storms of life. Think of these as your daily anchors. But before that, I would like to share a review from one of our listeners. Katie writes, "There aren't many adoption podcasts out there, and this one is all you need. Tim brings amazing value and a heart of gold to this show. His personal experience shines through. Please share this show with all the adoptive families you know." Thank you so much, Katie. I really appreciate your kind words. I would like to encourage you, as Katie said, please share this show with other adoptive families that you know. It's my hope that this show will be an anchor of encouragement for them. Today's anchor is the anchor of choice. In what would be his final performance, the villain of villains, the actor and the assassin of President Abraham Lincoln, John Wilkes Booth, was carried against his will onto the front porch of a rural farmhouse for one final curtain call. It was the last act of a 12-day manhunt. Booth had been shot by Sergeant Boston Corbett through the planks of the burning barn on the Garrett farm. The injury left Booth paralyzed. The wound was eerily similar to the one Booth inflicted on President Lincoln. The once proud orator was left barely able to speak. As life was slipping from his body, Booth whispered, "My hands." Next to Booth was Detective Luther Baker. Baker acknowledged the dying man's request and raised Booth's hands so the assassin could see them one final time. As he looked at his hands, John Wilkes Booth's last words were useless. Useless. Isn't it tragic for a person who had gained critical acclaim for his acting abilities would die as one of the most hated men in history? Critical acclaim had been replaced with critical disdain. It doesn't take a heinous act for a person to think their life has been useless. Sometimes people look back on their lives with regret. Regret for missed opportunities. Regret for unfulfilled dreams. Regret because of bad choices. Don't let that be you. Unfortunately, sometimes people make bad choices because they believe a narrative from others. Stories that tell them they're useless, and they make bad choices because they believe that. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. My dad was actually told by one of his teachers that he wouldn't amount to anything because of his dad, my grandfather. To this day, I'm not sure what it was about my grandfather that this teacher didn't like. But my dad chose not to believe his teacher. In fact, years later, he actually became her boss. Sadly, there are instances where hateful and hurtful things are said to adopted children, which can make them feel useless. Don't believe that story. And sometimes there are things said to adoptive parents that are hateful and hurtful, which can make them feel useless. Again, don't believe that story. Let's get to your daily doable. Tether your life to the anchor of good choices. Remember, you matter. Regardless of your background, write your own story. Don't allow what someone else says about you to define who you are. Just make sure that what is said about you and eventually remembered about you is based on your good choices. When the final curtain drops on your life, how do you want to be remembered? It's my hope that it will be based on the good choices you made. That's all for this episode. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, this is Tim, encouraging you to do what you can now. If this podcast has given you the courage and confidence to face storms in your life, the number one way you can thank me is to leave a written review on Apple Podcasts. Tell a friend about the show. Take a screenshot of this episode and share it in your Instagram stories and tag me at Tim Maudlin. You can also connect with me in my Facebook group, Anchors of Encouragement. So until next time, this is Tim encouraging you to do what you can now.